All departments, conduct your final safety checks and report back to the bridge. Engineering, confirm reactor status and warp core integrity.
Engine is ready. Fasten your seatbelts, Commander. Entering warp in 3, 2, 1.
The bridge is all yours, Commander. Welcome to the command deck.
I'm still in the office here at the end of the day, so my...
Welcome, guys. We're starting. Surprise, surprise.
Right.
Well, welcome. We have some people in the chat already. Welcome to another episode of CommandDeck podcast. And today we have a special guest. We have Njord once again. Welcome, Njord.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Njord? Can you hear me?
All right. Yep, I gotcha.
Yeah.
We're good?
So, yeah, welcome. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on again. It's been a little while.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I guess you have a lot of things to tell us about your SuperPhoenixDAO project. So let me introduce my mates here, and we have PG with us. Welcome, PG. How are you?
I'm good. Happy to be here another week. Today is going to be a good one. It was a nice week and lots of things to talk today.
Awesome. And then we also have Drum Carlos. Welcome, Drum Carlos.
Hello. Nice to see you all again.
Cool. Nice to have you here. And we have Solas with us. How are you, Solas?
Good. Glad to be back, and happy holidays, everybody, and a lot of cool, exciting things happening in SuperPhoenixDAO, Star Atlas. Pretty exciting times.
For sure. And then we have also Yoganat. Yoganat, welcome.
Hello. Glad to be here. Amped. Let's do it.
Let's go. So we have Tarin in the chat. Welcome, Tarin. Welcome, Lobo. Spanish mates here. Let me tell them in Spanish that we are doing this in English. I guess they already know, but just in case, let me say hello to them. Lobo, Eternab, buenas y bienvenidos. Hoy toca CommandDeck Podcast en inglés, así que bueno, espero que entendáis un poquillo y que os enteréis un poquillo, pero bueno, si no, luego con subtítulos intentaré que se quede ahí habilitado. Así que bueno, vamos a empezar, que tenemos cositas que hablar. We're going to start. We have a lot of things to talk about today. We have some things that Njord is going to tell us about SuperPhoenixDAO, and then we are going to chat about the new releases from Star Atlas, and then we're going to have a little surprise at the end. Agent Solas, do you want to tell us something about it now, or do we keep it as a surprise?
Yeah, we could tell them now. It's not much. I made a meme coin called Swag. Pretty much I'm just giving it out to, people, whoever watches the podcast and whoever comes on the podcast as kind of like some kind of reward. It's not worth much at all. Don't think it's a lot of money or anything like that, but it's a meme coin, and we'll see how it does. But I'll be giving out 200,000 swag coins to a viewer, a viewer in the chat, and then 200 swag coins to a viewer in the chat with a SuperPhoenixDAO NFT.
Awesome. Sounds great. You never know with meme coins, and then at least it's part of the project, so it's always like an interesting thing to have. swag coin. Sounds good. Okay, so stay tuned, guys, and let's start. So, Njord, what can you tell us about your project? What are you doing lately, and what are you going to release soon? You can start.
Sure.
Or you want to start?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, I appreciate you guys giving me a few minutes. I know I've been on a few Twitter Spaces lately, and then I think another podcast that's going to air pretty soon, more of a developer type of thing. So I've been slowly getting the word out and a few updates here and there, but nothing real major. The chat's been fairly slow, but we've been kind of working in the background, and things have pivoted a little bit. We've had a little bit of a shift, but conversations have been going really, really well. And so I've got a couple cool things we're working on, and we'll just kind of dive in and get folks kind of up to speed on where we've been here the last couple of months. So initially, investor conversations is one thing we were definitely having. We're working up toward our token sale, which is going to be, first quarter of next year. Probably we're targeting now closer to February, just because there's some additional tooling and things we want to make sure we have for everybody. And I'll touch back on that in a little bit. But with that piece, we've been talking to private investors, some of the larger kind of game groups, as well as some of the incubators, right? So crypto incubator spaces that are, and we've had some fair amount of interest, but obviously as we get close to the end of the year, negotiating some of these contracts is likely just going to push into the very beginning of next year. So we've had some success, but obviously need to kind of just keep trucking along on that front. But again, the conversations have gone really well. People are really interested. I think there's a lot of good perceived value with what we're building and kind of how we're connected to the communities and some of the other things we participated in, which is really positive. So yeah, I'm excited for that, and I think we're certainly on target. It's just obviously taking a little longer than we thought. A lot of it just due to the current market. There's a lot of different tokens coming out. There's a lot of projects that are making a lot of noise right now, which is great. It's really good for the space overall. But it just makes it, a little more competitive, and all the folks we're talking to now are quite busy. Whereas, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, there was a lot less, I guess, noise, let's say, to kind of cut through or get on people's calendars and get scheduling and all that kind of stuff. So, but again, it's going really well. One of those items too is we're working on kind of general negotiations to finalize the ship purchase, the actual Titan ship, and get it into the game. So I had a brief conversation with Star Atlas team about that just the other week. And so that's sounding really good. I think we've got a couple of options that we're looking to move forward with. Again, it'll be probably right after the holidays here that we'll work on solidifying some of that. Again, with some of these conversations, also it would include, influencers that we know, kind of that people are probably pretty familiar with in Web3 space. Some of the other communities, right? Some of the other popular kind of either NFT communities or Web3 gaming communities. We've had really good conversations with folks over at like Wilder World. We've got ongoing conversations with folks over at Mad Lads. Galactic Geckos have been going really, really well. And then one of the bigger ones, which I've kind of alluded to before, but I can't remember, or maybe not everyone's heard yet. We've got a really good collaboration moving forward with the Portals team, which is also a kind of open world builder on Solana. So those are kind of, outreach, a lot of conversations, a lot of meetings, a lot of good stuff where we're trying to integrate, and work in the value of what SuperPhoenixDAO is kind of offering long term and what we're looking to bring to the space and kind of bridge between different communities. So I guess I can kind of just keep going on that. So with as we branch out, I think where I've gone with some of these on the other chats recently is that there's been a lot of talk recently about NFTs coming back potentially, or the whole idea between composability, right, between games. And I know there's been a lot of talk about that for a long time, but obviously there's not a lot of games that are really doing it. I think some games are working on the user-generated content side, which is great, but there's not really a lot of crossover between game platforms. Nifty Island is one of those that's maybe an exception, but even that, they're working with a lot of the different NFT communities, but even still, the content within that game is mostly gated, by the game developers, which is normally the case with most of these games. the interesting thing, so what we kind of started, close to home, right, is that we really, I think we've kind of unlocked here is that the Super Phoenix DAO has a really unique position in this ecosystem because we're not building our own game, right? We're not a game dev shop. We're not building our own game. So we're not really competing on that level, and we're not dedicating resources to that. So, for example, you've got this huge benefit of Star Atlas, the Star Atlas community, the team over at Star Atlas, getting access or eventually having access here to the ship, in game, but also through the build program that Star Atlas talks about a lot. We've also got access, subject to terms and conditions. We've got access to the IP, right? So ship images and models and marketing and all of those things, which is a huge advantage. So what we're working on and what we've now, I've spoken to the team about and gotten through most of that, at least on a verbal agreement side of things. And then I've also been working, like I said, keeping it kind of close to home, as in talking to the team and developers over at Portals, which I don't know how many people are familiar with the Portals game. Like I said, they're on Solana, and it's kind of a Roblox type of game for those who are unfamiliar. So people can go in and kind of build their own little worlds, their little mini games, etc. It's built on Unity. The graphics are decent. It's different. It's not fully UE5, but it's still, I think, a really engaging kind of social environment that's open to builders. And so what we're doing, and this is what I think is pretty cool, pretty exciting, and I think we're getting more and more people on board as we kind of talk through it, is that originally we started looking for how can we begin to bring some of the entertainment experiences that we want to bring to our community, through the Super Phoenix, right? Through our brand, through what we're trying to do. Because obviously we all know, even if we, get the Super Phoenix ship and we've got it in, Sage here, next month or so, that's great, but we still can't walk in it, right? The model's not done. It's not in UE5. It's not in the showroom. We're just not there yet. And it's going to be probably quite a while before these Commander ships and these Titan ships eventually get fully built out in UE5. Obviously, with the town hall the other day, we saw some really cool stuff. I like the Oni CSS, but even that, it takes a long time, right? So, I just start looking at it and thinking, okay, they've got to work through those things. Then they've got to work through some other Titans. Then they've got to work through, it's a large pipeline. So the reality is, it's going to be probably years, right? If we're being honest with ourselves, as to when the Super Phoenix is fully explorable, full UE5, et cetera. Maybe we can get some spaces early and we work, toward that stuff. But there's quite a bit of time for folks to put a lot of faith and trust in us to build and move forward as we go. So in the meantime, we've looked to some of these other environments. And so portals seem like a really good fit for a couple of reasons. One, the space is buildable now, so we can start building out these kind of cool, user experience spaces that are gated to our community and our members if we choose. And it's on Solana, which is great. And so that's where we started moving into the composability piece. And what we've worked out and is in process right now is we have a professional portals builder under contract to start building out certain areas of Super Phoenix as kind of an initial phase or an early phase way to get access to these things. But what I think is cool, the other part is we're also going to start bringing into our kind of branded space and portals. We're going to bring in some of the extra small racing ships from Star Atlas. So, and this is what I think a lot of people haven't really messed with or done much on yet, but it's absolutely doable considering both these projects are on Solana. Both projects are very much on board, as in, Portals is happy to help us import these assets, and Star Atlas is happy to let us use the IP to do these. Like I said, as long as we're maintaining kind of terms and conditions. So the idea being, I think there's been a lot of, when we were first asking people about what they're excited about with Super Phoenix, what they're looking forward to with the ship. One of the things that came to the forefront right away was kind of the images that the team had put together around one of the domes, kind of being that cool desert motif racetrack type of vibe, right? And so we feel like it makes sense that that could be one of the first offerings we target, especially because Star Atlas now is coming out with kind of the multiplayer racing venue in Unreal Engine, right? So a really cool complement we feel to that. And
So you
so
mean
what we're working
building that kind of desert with a racetrack in portals?
correct. So And now just so kind of imagine one of the huge domes or the pods right on the side of the Super Phoenix being dedicated to kind of that racing environment that's really sort of desert type vibe, not similar to the showroom, but obviously in a different environment, a different game engine, different environment, because Portals is web-based, and it's, Unity. But it's still quite good and they can do a great job with it. And so it'll be a little more, it'll still be a multiplayer racer, but I would compare it maybe more to a Mario Kart-esque style version, right? And the really high definition UE5 version that the team is putting out. But what's really cool, and what we've talked to both teams now about, and what we can do, and we're going to deliver first quarter next year, is for people who own extra small ships in Star Atlas. You own a air bike, you own a an
X4.
F4, whatever. Yep, X4. Yep. F4, too big. We brought that one in too, actually, to check it out, just why it was on my mind. But yeah, any of those.
Well, because F4 is very, very small compared to a Titan, so we understand it.
You confuse those. It's funny you mentioned that. We did bring the F4 model already over to Portals too, and we were checking out a few of those. But
nice.
yeah, so we've been able to bring over the clay models of the WebGL assets for the extra small ships, and we've been able to import them in Portals. And so now we're working on building out the space, mimicking the skins as best we can in those environments. And so with just a little bit of additional kind of engineering and a little bit of help from the Portals team, we're going to go ahead and be able to have your wallet scanned to make sure you own a Star Atlas, extra small ship. And then when you come to our space in Portals, it's going to appear and you'll be able to give it a race and give it a try and kind of mess around in there. So we think it's, it's really complimentary. It's very cool. I think folks in Star Atlas will be excited just to see that they have some additional use with some of these assets, or we're starting to bridge that gap, right? It's very early, but there's a lot of cool opportunities with that. And then our hope too is that, again, as a third party who's not focused on building our own game, that's really been a big part of our whole plan as well, is that we can start bringing other communities into Star Atlas, right? So the reality is Portals is already a thriving game. They've also been building for about 2 or 3 years. They've got a decent sized community, pretty similar to Star Atlas size. And those folks love Portals. They love the games. They love building in there. They love a lot of the different environments. So we'll be really excited to kind of offer them the opportunity to come check out what we've built, play around with it, and then be able to create some simple links for those people. Maybe there's some free trial days or et cetera, whatever. But the reality is we'll be able to embed direct links into our Portal space that give people the ability to basically tap right into the marketplace and, let's say, pick up a Fimble air bike if they want to from Star Atlas.
Nice.
Through our portal, through our link. And then, the idea is they want to come over and maybe they'll check out Star Atlas later, but we'll get them in the door with what they're already familiar with. And the Portals team is really supportive. So yeah, we're really excited about it. And I will say that's the one we're moving forward with now. And we're planning some really cool, fun stuff to do around that whole racing idea, racing motif, which we can get into in a minute. But I will also say,
is it possible?
only...
Sorry. Is it possible to compete in that races, or is it time based? Like, how is it? How is it in Portals?
Yep. So we'll have to see. The game mechanics will be as we go, as we kind of build it out. We'll see how much flexibility we have. But we've also got folks who can code in Unity. So the reality is, as long as Portals is really supportive of the project, I think we'll have a lot of flexibility there, which is great. So whether we get full combat in or not, that's a question mark. We'll have to see. We'll definitely be able to do multiplayer races that are, truly races that are, timed, and you'll be side by side, kind of multiplayer style, going through the track. Because right now, Portals, again, being that I would say they're slightly lower poly, but they're, browser based. Right now, pretty much in any instance, I think you can easily get 50 to 100 Portals players interacting, live, real time, 3D.
That's amazing.
Today. Yeah, and so they've done that today. As a matter of fact, when we met them in Singapore, they were one of the other game groups at Singapore. They were actually doing something I thought was really cool, just even those couple of days of the conference, right? They had, for anybody who couldn't attend, they created a mimic image of the main stage of Breakpoint in a Portals environment. And so people were hanging out in Portals, sitting in chairs in the audience, watching a live feed screen in their 3-dimensional space that was the entire live presentations that were going on at Breakpoint those 2 days. So,
Awesome.
they're already able to facilitate those kind of live events, which is very cool, kind of based on their whole infrastructure and how they build it. So again, Portals has been great. We're really excited about starting to build some of these things and bridging that gap, like we talked about, not only between the communities, but also in the amount of time that Star Atlas needs to really bring a lot of, their environments to fruition. So that's pretty exciting. That's pretty cool. And then what's kind of come of this already is now we're in discussions with a couple of other Web3 projects who are building open world environments, who are very interested in getting the Super Phoenix content and community into their open world games in the future as well. So there'll be more
That's
ongoing
cool.
discussions. What's
Yeah,
that?
so that's very cool. This is actually pretty
Yeah.
major. If people
Yeah.
actually think of like the huge vision behind this, because Portals is a big game. One, it could bring
Mhm.
a lot more people to Super Phoenix DAO, a lot more people to Star Atlas, and I'm sorry, I'm having a blank. I was writing some things down, but man, I forgot. So I was just looking at some of their stuff, and they actually made a mimic kind of Mario Kart kind of style racing.
Mhm.
So you're going to be able to put on tournaments and a bunch of other things like that, and it's very cool. A lot of people, and it looks like you said, you could do a lot of people in a single instance, which is going to be amazing. And also, like people that are playing Star Atlas that don't have a big honky like chunky gaming PC, they could probably play this instead and get ready for
Yep.
Star Atlas as well. It's just, this is going to be massive. I had some other things, but I lost track. There's so much I wanted to say, but it'll come back to me.
Yeah,
No
Viking Benny
worries.
was saying, what Viking Benny was
Yeah.
saying in the chat, that no need to buy extra assets. It's a great feature, and I think, that's that's not only a great feature. It's a major thing, I think,
Yeah,
because
it's giving extra utility to assets that
Yeah.
players already own. To a community that already owns some assets, and it's great.
and that's a great incentive to really bring people from one project to another project. And the other thing is, are you planning any incentives, any prizes, or anything for possible competitions there? Are you planning competitions, or just making that like a world where other people can organize competitions like that?
No, it's a great point. So we're already, again, we're very early stages. Our builder has already started kind of basic design work, but the real building is going to start here just after the new year. We've messed with some of the models and things. That's about where we're at now. So it is still a few months out in the making. But I will say we're also, so along with that, because the racing module is kind of the first one, it's going to go kind of hand in hand with Star Atlas, launching their combat racing multiplayer, which is great. So absolutely, the way, because the Super Phoenix is kind of around this whole idea of the entertainment space, right? Around that, we absolutely are going to kind of set up tournaments, create prize packages, the whole thing, and how we want to do it. I'm even looking into kind of like on-chain contractual betting options too for folks if they're interested. Um, and the idea is, what we hope is we can kind of test some of this stuff out in Portals, and if it works and it catches on and we build a good system around it, it's very easy for us to just bring it over to Star Atlas, right? So the reality is we can start hosting these same tournaments and brackets with some of the players who are going to be in kind of the Unreal Engine version as well. And we've already got folks looking into actually Viking Benny's one of them too, is going to be helping and looking into how we start doing kind of live commentary on these types of events, right? So think of a real race, right, where you have multiple camera angles, you're able to switch back and forth, you'll have live caller, people calling the race, announcers, whatever you will. So we're actually looking into all of it right now so that we can have these things kind of ready to stand up and ready to go, not just in our Portals version, but then we can also port over and bring it over and work with the team in Star Atlas and start providing some of that. I think it'd be really fun and cool content and commentary. on the racing, module piece that we can loop people in. So yeah, we're pretty excited about it.
If Viking Benny wants to come on right now, he's more than welcome to as well. I know he's in the chat.
Oh, he's in the chat? Okay.
Yeah, he's in the chat. Also, will you guys be doing another mint, since you might be bringing some Portal community members on board? And then also, if there is another mint, will it be maybe it doesn't have to have as much benefits as the original OG mint? Kind of how like Volania had an OG mint, and then they had another hero mint, but one was a little better or whatever. But maybe you don't have to do the ship airdrop or crew airdrop or anything like that. But what if there was a mint? What would it look like?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you mentioned it, because that's absolutely in the plans with a lot of this. So I can kind of go back to that side of it, right? When we talk more about maybe the I don't know, maybe not technical side, but the functional piece of the DAO, right? So we're working on these things with other projects and communities, which is great and we're really excited about, but we also still have to move forward on the promises we've made, bringing in new members, working on the token, all of those things. So yeah, you're spot on. So we're targeting again, first quarter for the actual token to be live. We're going to be working on probably a different, let's see how much of this I have completely flushed out and I can go over right now, but we're going to be working with some influencers and affiliate programs to be able to sell tokens. Specifically, we're going to target, we're going to give the option to Star Atlas community first at semi-discounted rates through a lot of the influencers we know already. So we want to work, that part of it before we just go completely public and bring in, outside communities. So that'll be an option. Again, no obligation there at all, but there'll be an option for that kind of in a limited time window for the token sales. And then effectively with the public sale, we'll kind of be able to open it up more and finalize that. And then the idea is that's going to demark roughly the period of time once tokens are fully launched, public, sold, etc. Is when we're going to have the staking go live as well. So we'll have staking both for our original NFT holders, so they can earn DAO tokens by staking those NFTs. And then we'll have a more traditional kind of governance staking pool for the DAO tokens itself. So people who are either earning them on NFT staking can restake those if you want to compound, or people who are just buying them or trading them, etc., can also stake them if they choose. So with the staking options, we do anticipate there being more demand, right, for the NFTs, because it is a fairly, especially after we did the merge, the supply is pretty low, which is very cool. And so you're absolutely right. I think we don't know the exact timing, but it's going to be around that period. We want to make sure staking is functioning properly, and that we've reached, the other communities are now paying attention and have looked at us and kind of come through, whether it's some of the stuff we're doing, with portals, or if it's just the token itself and this marketing campaign giveaway, which I'll talk about in just a minute. All of those are how we're trying to grow kind of awareness, before the launch. But I would say then after that or near that launch period, we are going to go with another kind of limited offering of the NFT mint. And that process will work pretty much exactly the same as the original mint did. However, you're right, Solus, it won't have the kind of OG benefits that the original mint had, right? Now, and I know we're still working on the airdrop, and I know that's a big question for folks. That kind of goes, I'll be honest, the airdrop, we've gotten a good way of the way that we need to, like getting there to what we need from a just overall funding perspective. But frankly, by wrapping up the token offering and the investor conversations next year, we should have no problem, being able to finalize the airdrops that we promised everybody, which is 100%. Those commitments will be honored, and we've got them on the docket, and those agreements are still valid with the team over at Star Atlas. So we're still, that's still front and center. But you're right. Going forward, the new mint is going to look and feel pretty similar to the old one. The difference is we just won't have that snapshot with kind of the freebies, right? So going forward, the NFTs will just be the NFTs. They'll have their rarities. They'll have their, their perks attached to kind of the badge system that we originally did. And then the other part too is we'll have staking kind of available and live. So now when you think about it, our OG NFT holders. They kind of had to go a while before they could really stake these things or do much with them. We had the limited edition merge badges, and we've got the posters coming out soon. But I feel like that's warranted considering the time that's kind of elapsed since those original purchases. So they're still going to get those preferential benefits. And going forward, we'll kind of just do the NFTs as they are. But we will likely also open similar windows for merging cubes again as well. So you want to go through the process, make sure that people who want to get in, and we have new people from other communities, have the availability to get their hands on some and get in. But then we'll probably offer the same kind of idea where we can merge those up if you want to get higher rarities or kind of combine them or do those things. Again, not with the airdrops or the perks, but the ability to still kind of have some of that gamification and some of that just general access to the project, as we look to kind of grow it out.
Nice.
Awesome.
We'll let you get a glass of water or drink real quick if you need to. You've been talking a lot. There's still a lot more to cover, it looks like. For right now, we'll give out 200,000 swag coins in the chat right now. The question, you have to answer the question correct. What is the SuperPhoenixDAO token called? The first one to get it right in the YouTube chat will get the coins. All right.
Okay, chat.
Sorry.
Get ready. You can get that prize now, right now. And Njord, you talk even more than Wagner. You need more water than Wagner.
Yeah, I need more water. You're right. I promise. I think I've only got one thing left, and then that's all you got.
No, it's awesome.
No, you're right.
It's good. It's a lot of good information.
Is that an answer I'm feeling?
Yeah, that's
I do. Oh, did someone get it?
Yeah.
Taring.
Many men wish death upon me.
Nice. We have a DJ.
These nuts.
Oh my God. You're fired. That was the shortest job in the world. You're fired. Okay.
The answer was Ember, the Ember token. Go ahead, Njord, if you want to continue.
Yeah, no worries.
Just one thing before you continue. One thing before you continue. You can tell everybody the address of the web page, and is there where people can find all the information of all those things that you're talking about. Are they already there? Which things are there? Which things are not there? What can people find?
Yep, good question. So a lot of this is kind of coming soon. So frankly, this is probably one of the first Star Atlas venues that I've really put it out there in kind of full fruition. So most of it's written. The webpage is going to be updated literally next week. So the promotion I'm about to talk about, will be able to start next week. We'll be putting everything out on Twitter and Discord, and we'll be looping in a number of the guild communities in Star Atlas 2. So I've already been talking to some of the guild leaders and working through some of that ahead of time. So everything should be available and kind of public, in the next, it'll be live next week, but obviously with the holiday, people are kind of busy and there's a lot going on. So the promo is going to continue for a period of time. So no rush to worry about, making sure you're checking before or after Christmas or anything like that. So there'll be plenty of time. But the website's still been always the same for us. It's SuperPhoenixDAO.com. Same with, Twitter, right? We're at SuperPhoenixDAO. So pretty straightforward. But yeah, we'll have all the updates out there published before the end of the year, which is great. I guess the last thing I want to make sure I let everybody know is the marketing promotion that I mentioned, which is why I've been having a lot of these conversations with communities, trying to get other outside communities involved. And so what we've done is, I guess it's not too far off from maybe the idea of like the Golden Carnival, right? That Star Atlas is doing, because it is kind of a raffle system. We're not doing tickets or anything you have to craft, of course, but for us, it's a little bit more. There is an NFT involved, but it's free mint, right? So the reality is we've we've expanded kind of the badge idea and the badge program, which is what we've always wanted that to be. So that as of next week, folks will be able to go out to the website and mint one per wallet. It'll be a free kind of community-based SuperPhoenixDAO badge. So if anybody had seen a bunch of those coming out on social media about a month or so ago with the merge badges, we've created now a subset of that collection that's just for this promotion. And so, for example, the first one that'll be available will be available to anybody, in the Star Atlas community that hops out there and mints it. And it's going to be one of our kind of, signature sort of red badges with the wings. But in the center, we've got a gold emblem, which is the Star Atlas logo, right? So it's kind of a way to mark that as sort of, people, members of the community who want to participate. And then as we go forward, we're going to start announcing kind of all the collaborations with Star Atlas guilds, and we're going to have similar badges, but they're going to be custom for each guild, right? So we'll have, it'll be the same badge with an AFIA logo, with a logo from Rome, with a logo from Heimdall, right, and so on and so on. And so folks from those guilds will be able to hop in and kind of free mint their custom badge that sort of reps their guild and their community, right? And now the cool part is we've expanded that, or we will expand that. And so we've got the same idea with those badges then going to community members from projects like Portals, Wilder World, Mad Lads, Galactic Geckos, et cetera, et cetera. We're still talking to a few more like Claynosaurs and a couple others. But yeah, we're working through those. And so this promotion is going to go for probably the exact specifics out there, like I said, in the next week or so, but we're going to run it for at least 30 days. Maybe a little bit longer, depending on kind of, how the holidays go here. The idea is that there'll be plenty of notices. You'll get plenty of updates. Guilds will be updating you. Influencers will be letting you know all that great stuff. And at any time, people can just hop out to superphoenixdao.com. There'll be a new tab that you can click on where the badges are. That'll be community badges. And so you'll be able to hop in and claim the one that represents your organization. And then sometime, in that month period before we do the final draw, and we'll let everybody know way in advance, all you have to do is pop into Discord and verify that you hold one of these community badges, right? And that enters you in the raffle. At the end of the whole thing, and this is why we're also looking to pull, community members who are not traditionally Star Atlas folks as well, and expand Super Phoenix DAO and hopefully get them, to take a look at Star Atlas. But once we're all done, the prize package is pretty decent. We're giving away, and kind of go through the list here. We're giving away about $100,000 face value worth of Ember DAO tokens to about 20 different raffle winners. We're also going to be giving away our Data Cube NFTs. We're going to be giving away crew packs, extra small ships. I think we've got a medium ship in there. We've got some Portals wearable NFTs. We've got the Portals Builder NFTs, which those have become quite a bit more valuable since I got those from the team. I think they're going for about 3 or 4 SOL a piece now. That last time I checked. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've got quite a good prize package. There may be even something else in there I'm forgetting. But yeah, so quite a bit. A lot of NFTs, a lot of tokens. A lot of good stuff to make sure we go around, and we want to have at least, I think last time I looked across all of those giveaways items, I think we want to have at least 50 winners, maybe 60. So easily 50 or 60 winners out of that prize pool package, which we're like shooting for kind of end of January, maybe beginning of February, to kind of depending on just the official kickoff date here, just around or after the holidays. So yeah, really excited. Should be a lot of fun. It'll get us some good traction, hopefully some good awareness, even beyond our folks here at Star Atlas. But obviously, we want to give everybody in Star Atlas kind of the first shake, and the opportunity to get in and check it out.
Awesome. Did you say
Yeah.
how many raffles or giveaways or?
Yeah, I have to look at the exact list, but basically all those things I kind of rattled off, there's going to be multiples of all of them being given away. And so total winners across all of those things is probably, it was either, I don't have it right in front of me. It's probably more like 60 winners or 75 winners total will be drawn for all those different things.
But is
again,
that going to
20
be
winners will get.
one day or several different days?
We'll pick it. So it'll be based on. We'll kind of announce well in advance, so that everyone's in the prize pool, and we'll kind of do random selection of anybody who's in the pool to be that could be selected. And how you do that is anytime between when it starts and when it finishes, you just have to go grab one of those community badges off the website and then jump in Discord and get the badge verified, and that gives you a unique role. So it'll be a big pool of all the people who have grabbed a badge, come to Discord. At the end, all of those Discord roles will be randomly put into a pool of names, and they'll be randomly selected as winners for all the different prize packages.
Nice.
It's amazing.
Cool.
If there's any more left over or another or introduce that in that little pool, I know I'm sorry. I know the Star Atlas Gallia Cup is starting up again. I know Supernova Racing League was going to get back on the new Star Atlas racing and shooting and all that. And we're going to be starting up some tournaments soon. So if you have any more left, we could
Oh, absolutely.
work on
Yeah,
something.
so we'll be in contact for sure. Because I remember talking to both organizations a while back when you guys were kind of initially getting stuff going, and then obviously things took a pause until we've got racing coming around, which we do
You got
now.
a game now.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're 100% on board. So obviously we're kind of working toward our stuff in portals and getting that going. But we would love to create these cups almost into, let's say, a larger tournament or circuit. We'll be definitely looking to sponsor some of these events, put prize packages together. 100%. Like, we're all about it. Like I said, we really want to make a full entertainment offering around kind of this racing space and idea. And if that means we're partnering with Gallia Cup, right? That's great. 100%. We'll be happy to do that. I think we're even going to target some. We'll see how it goes, but there's a good chance we'll start pressuring to see if we can maybe get some unique skins, right? As prize packages that are branded that kind of fit with this whole idea. So, a lot of different ideas are kind of swirling right now, and I think it's going to be really cool. A lot of fun.
SuperPhoenixDAO uniforms with the badges you guys are giving out on your uniform. That'll be
Great
pretty
idea.
cool.
I love that the bringing community together while repping their guilds. That's awesome. Great idea.
Absolutely.
Question, Njord. For us, the community, the people that have been following the project since the beginning, and we own cubes and stuff, what's the best way we can help and get involved with you guys and help promote this
Sure.
thing? You talk about all the things that you guys give out, but there's also a community behind, and there's a lot of passionate people. So what's the best way for us to help and to get engaged with you guys?
Yeah, that's excellent. I appreciate that. We're definitely going to kind of have that call to the community for sure, especially when this marketing promo starts to go out and get going. And I think really, getting the word out, posting, everyone kind of participating in this, grabbing your badges, letting people know, kind of the virality of it. I think we're really gonna look forward to and look people to help participate with. I guess one thing I could say that's even a little more maybe um, I guess I don't know, maybe a little more dialed in, depending on especially creators specifically, is that again we go back to like the token sale and some of that initial launch piece of it. Uh, we're kind of creating an affiliate program basically for creators, and not just YouTubers. So it could be any of the social media platforms. It could even just be people who are posting on X and doing some of those things. We're going to offer opportunities for folks to kind of spread the word, get affiliate links if they're really interested and they want to get after it. Absolutely. And we're happy to kind of partner on that, sort of share the wealth, so to speak, and get the word out there and make it, provide incentive for people who want to partake and help us grow. Absolutely.
Sweet.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's probably still far out there. I know we talked about this before on a earlier episode, but is there any update on a potentially selling like hangar space or housing or whatever. It's probably still far away with Star Atlas, but never bad to ask.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. It is a little further out, but it's absolutely in the roadmap, so to speak. Some of those things, when it comes to the land plots, and even the hangar bays and some of that stuff that's more, UE5 based, we're kind of dependent on Star Atlas, right? And their timetable to build that stuff out. So we'll be a little bit subject to them and what they can help us out with. I have had some initial conversations with them, not very recently, but a little, a few months back, where they will try to work with us ahead of actually getting it built, let's say, in Unreal Engine. We at least want to have things, we want to get them at least kind of mapped out or spreadsheeted out, let's say, if you will, so that we can start beginning to make our plan around exactly what you're asking about, how we can promote those, how we could eventually sell some of those. We want to do, some things from a marketing perspective as well. And then even, right, giving preferential treatment, let's say in the idea of the hangar space and some of those things too. We could absolutely create a system or a benefit package around that for our existing holders, 100%. But I think, and maybe the best thing we just saw in the town hall that kind of alluded to it is, again, when they were talking about the Oni CSS, right? And in order for them to kind of work through their idea of how they're mapping out that whole environment, one of the things they obviously had to figure out is where all the land plots are going to go, right? Um, they might not know where every individual person is going to be, but they did have to at least put the work in to figure out, where all of the, the T1, T2, T3 land plots are all going to kind of exist, at least in a three-dimensional space, and the quantities and the location, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's kind of the phase we're hoping we can get to with the team on the Super Phoenix, ahead of actual building it out. I think we'll probably work on that piece of it first with them. And then we'll be able to at least have something on paper we can move forward with. But I would argue best case scenario is probably, late next year we'd be having those discussions with them. Um, I mean, I'll target, next summer is kind of would be the ideal scenario, but again, really depends on the team, what they've got going on and what the other priorities are. So, yeah.
Are you going to Breakpoint next year?
Oh, great question. So these were not on my list, but I'm glad you asked. So absolutely, yes, we will be at Breakpoint next year. If it's up to me, we'll definitely sponsor another booth. We'll see if we can. Those discussions are kind of just barely starting. I think the team at Breakpoint literally just looped in all the previous sponsors like days ago. I think just a few days ago was the first time I saw anything about it. So yeah, we're definitely going to be there. What size of presence we're going to have, I think, is yet to be determined, but we'll figure that out. What I can say is we will have a presence and we will have a booth at Solana Crossroads this year in Istanbul at the end of April. So if anybody is planning to go to that or make it to that, we will definitely be there. So come and check us out.
Nice.
We have rumors about Impact 2025, so I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully,
I am also looking forward to that. So I can honestly say, as someone who participated in Impact this year, it was phenomenal. We would love to do it again. I'm sure I'll be in touch with the team about that soon, but I haven't heard anything yet, and I'm sure it'll be, into next year before we get any details. But yeah, excited. It sounds good.
And
Yeah,
any updates? Any updates about the rest of the gameplay or plans for the Titan in Sage or in any other gameplay in Star Atlas?
Yeah, good question. So, to be completely honest, we're in discussion with multiple groups. This is where it gets a little tricky. I can't say for sure because I haven't actually we haven't finalized any contract agreements. But the way we're looking at handling it is because the Titan is so huge, and I think anyone who's playing Sage kind of realizes it takes a lot of support to utilize the Super Phoenix functionally in Sage. And so that's going to need the support from other player groups, possibly other guild groups, etc. And so we're we're in discussions with a couple of different groups about how we can negotiate the operations of the Super Phoenix DAO or Super Phoenix, so that proceeds from Sage can be, appropriately divided between teams that are helping supporting operating and the DAO itself, right? So we can start funding DAO treasury, and still making sure that when the DAO tokens that everyone's going to be buying soon or winning, maybe if you're lucky, those votes will count toward what the ship is doing, in Sage and that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, we're actively having those discussions as we speak. I'm hoping we can kind of get things wrapped up and figured out, kind of the same time frame next month, and we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, once we have it kind of ironed out and we have something under contract, I'd be happy to chat more about it in detail.
Do you have any faction already chosen?
Good question. So it's tough. I'm biased, so I'm partial to Ooster, right? That's always been my spot. So I'd probably like to stick with that, but again, it kind of depends on these negotiations because we're talking to groups in groups from all three of the different factions. So we'll see. It's a big asset, and there's a lot of opportunity there, I guess. But again, I have to wear my DAO hat, right, and kind of look at it from that perspective, so that our NFT holders, our token holders, our stakers are really the priority. So,
Is there any plans to create a fleet, or are you guys planning to use only this Super Phoenix ship without claim stakes? Well, you need a crew for sure, because without crew, you guys not gonna move. But you
Yep.
guys need to create fuel. You need to create all the R force, and plus, if you guys don't have a good defense, the Super Phoenix DAO, in the game combat perspective, could be something that other players can farm XP from the Super Phoenix. If you guys don't have any defense, it's gonna be an easy target.
True. No, you're absolutely right, and there is a lot of support that's required. So, like I said, there's a couple of different groups that are kind of working on proposals, and we're working with and talking to right now. So we'll kind of have to iron that out and see what makes the most sense. But I do think the good news is there's a few different options. The idea is that we would have to go pretty heavy on some additional crew. We're very aware of that. I think to make a Titan ship operational or optimized as best you can in Sage, you need a lot of crew. That's not really a secret. Now, as far as other support ships go, that's also needed for efficiency. But there's a lot of options out there, because again, there are groups and teams that are already functioning at a pretty high level, and then there are also groups of players that have some significant transport type assets that would be happy to work with a Titan ship, right? So we've got some different options. Not to mention, the last and final is that we've been paying very close attention to the lending mechanism as well. And so when we start looking at potential, a couple months out, is there an opportunity for the Super Phoenix DAO to rent some of the support assets that it might need for short periods of time, with some of these operational contracts that we're looking at. So, yeah, I think there's a few different options and opportunities, and we are actively discussing those at the moment.
That was my next question about, are you guys going to be renting assets to help you out in the beginning, and then vice versa? Will the Super Phoenix Titan ever be rented or not?
Good question. Yeah, the Titan, renting out the Titan in kind of that traditional way is not, functionally, it's kind of how you look at it. I guess you could almost say that's how the operating agreement will probably feel. Because we'll hold the asset and we'll use the rental program to basically delegate it to an operator. That way we're still secure. But that operation agreement is not going to be like a normal rental agreement, of course, through the rental program. Just because it's so significant, it requires a lot of other assets and time and gameplay and some of those things. So that'll be a more traditional, almost almost more like traditional lease contract, if you would, right? But as far as, ancillary ships and assets to improve efficiency, I do think there are absolutely opportunities for us to rent some of those with the new program. Yep.
I know a project called Iris Venture. I don't know if you.
That's a good one.
All right.
But
Hit just slide into the DMs. Let me know.
Yeah. Along with the community trying to help you get your project off the ground, if you need anything, let us know, whether it's like marketing, graphics, or anything, just let us know. I'm sure everybody will try to help out. However, I know you help out multiple communities. You've sponsored the Mud Empire, one of our events. I've seen you sponsor Puri event. So I would imagine the community would try to help any way possible to help you succeed,
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate it. Yeah, we've always tried to. I've tried to make a point of participating in the rest of the community as much as we possibly can. I think it works great. It's how it's meant to be. And I think if we have the resources to do that, we want to continue to and frankly grow it and kind of expand. Again, eventually all these things we want to expand and suck people into Star Atlas, right? That's our
It's felt
end
and it's
goal.
appreciated, and everyone that has anything to say about Super Phoenix is always a good thing. So it's been a pleasure always to be, working with you guys and being following you guys, because it's an amazing project and you guys are gonna do great.
I appreciate it. That's great. Yep.
Yeah, having those plans with other projects like portals, for example, that's always great for Star Atlas, not only for SuperPhoenixDAO. So of course, it's a big win for everybody. So for sure, the community will be glad to help in any way, for sure.
When now Njord, I know Star Atlases keep on talking about remaking their incentive program, like referrals, Star Path. I would hope they would allow you to make a Star Path and be able to share that with all the communities you're reaching out to onboard to essentially Star Atlas. So I would hope the Star Atlas team would hook you up with a referral link or whatever, so you could onboard a bunch of people to help out the project.
Yeah, that's a great point. I haven't reached out to them directly about it because obviously they just kind of dropped that the other day. But yeah, we're excited about it. I think just like any other creator kind of would be, or anyone who has, that ability, like you said, to onboard folks. We were looking to do that anyway because it's a win-win. But yeah, obviously if there's a way we can, work with the team at Star Atlas and incentivize it a little bit, and send some of that to the DAO, absolutely. We'd be all about that. So.
We got tons of content creators like Kepler here and Beyond the Horizon. I'm sure they'll be doing whole episodes about your Titan.
It's always good to have content and good content, especially.
Yep, absolutely. So, we'll be in touch for sure. I've just started reaching out to some of the influencers, but yeah, you guys are on the list, absolutely, and we'll talk more once we kind of get our once I get the system in place where folks can sign up and start getting those affiliate links. We'll be in touch, 100%.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're giving Sandy a run for King of Alpha. I'll tell you.
Maybe today. It's because I don't do these. Yeah, I don't do these often enough. I guess maybe that's the problem, right? So.
No, it's a good problem. I like it. You covered a lot of tangents. I have something that's a little bit more ethereal or less planned, perhaps, for you, looking towards the far future for the SPD. If you could have one piece of the UE5 Titan built out first, which piece is that?
Nice.
It's tough. So I know what I want. I don't know if that's what we'd have to. This is a good polling question, I suppose. I think we're targeting kind of the racing stuff, so that would obviously be a lot of fun, and I think there'd be great utility there. If I'm being completely honest, for my long-term vision of the DAO, I think getting the full concert stages up and running in UE5 with metagravity numbers of people in there, 100%. I'd take that hands down. If I could have it tomorrow, I'd be on it. not to, and I know there's always a lot of these kind of promises floating out there, so I don't want to guarantee anything, but I will say from a really promising perspective, I do have a meeting scheduled after the holidays with a very again, it sounds really, it's tough to give it away without giving it away, but it's on those lines, right? The concert venue, live events and live shows. We'll see where it goes. So there's certainly no promises, but it's a very good face-to-face in-person meeting with a
Taylor
very
Swift.
large promoter. What's that?
Taylor
It's
Swift.
it's a concert promoter. So it's probably one of the top 10 largest concert
Wow.
venues and promoters here in the United States. So pretty excited about it. There's a lot of conversation to be had and a long way to go there. But that's definitely the kind of stuff we're targeting and that we want to start bringing into the virtual space at some point. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I would think the like you said, the dome would be cool for racing and esports, the bar area for socializing, or like I said, like you said, like the theater or live event center. Like you could have content creators come on. You could have like you said, shows, music events or whatever, but also um, yeah, there's just so much you could do with the theater. You could even like you could buy a pay-per-view and offer it to your Super Phoenix DAO. We all could
And
watch
don't forget
UFC event or something like that.
Don't forget the Mod Fridays at the beach.
Yep.
Mud
So
Fridays, got it.
Nice. So
When Super
about
Phoenix DAO OnlyFans. That's just joking. Don't build that one out, I guess.
Yeah, that we'll put.
about
see.
the latest releases from Star Atlas. Not exactly the latest, but local markets not far away. So local markets. How does that impact Super Phoenix plans in general? Does that
Our
impact?
plans in general? Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. It does actually. It's a good point. As a matter of fact, it impacts. Well, obviously, local markets impact Sage quite a bit, especially right now. And then the new infrastructure contracts, that's kind of changed dynamics quite a bit. And so that's a big part of the conversations we're having about getting the ship online and in Sage, because those dynamics have shifted even for, as you guys I'm sure aware, anybody who's playing, or even some of the larger groups who've been playing for a while. They're shifting strategy a little bit to take advantage of the new structure with those. And so we're kind of doing the same, which is, in a good way, I'm glad it's our timing is working out pretty well that way, because I do think we can focus now on including that in any of our planning, right? So anything related to Sage that we're talking about or that we're negotiating, we can kind of include the new dynamics of local markets and the infrastructure contracts into those conversations. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. And Ron Carlos just said something that I forgot. Don't forget to hit the like button and to subscribe to the channel. Yeah. So about the way the town hall that we had and the way that they did it as a surprise and all that. What do you think now? Not only for the Super Phoenix Titan ship, but just you, like any other member of the community. What do you think about the town hall and the new releases?
It was great. Not only they kept the secret really, really well about the stuff that they were about to release, but I feel like they have been listening the feedback over the last few town halls and and the way they have managed the last few releases, and I think it's just a great step in the right direction. They didn't overhype it, and then they just blew our brains out. But even if they hadn't released all that, I think they managed expectations really well, and was a very fun, entertaining, educating town hall where we knew where we were, and we can see where they have been putting the effort and where we are going. And I think it was great. I think the best town hall I remember in a long while.
Yeah. Go ahead, Njord.
I would agree. No, I was saying, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. They recapped a lot this year. They went over a lot of the new things, which were really cool. One I was impressed with was the how they're already integrating the unique kind of one for one crew into UE5. I thought that was actually pretty impressive. That's much sooner than I would have anticipated. They still got a way to go, and they're doing models kind of as they go. But the fact that that's already available in the new update, I downloaded it I think later that night just to check it out. So yeah, it's very very cool. Um, yeah, I like that one quite a bit. And then obviously the races, right? That pertains to everything I've been talking about all day. But I'm sure everyone's kind of excited for it, and it'll be really cool to see how players jump in and start really engaging with multiplayer races. I think that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if the team is incorporating some of the traits into those specific crew that you have in your wallet. So, are flight traits going to be more effective in the racing? Are operator and fitness going to be more better in maybe the shooter? So yeah, I'm
Sure.
can't wait till the team comes back and answer some of those questions because there's a lot of meta to be found, I guess.
Yeah, Jornak, you were gonna say something before? Jornak?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, you were going to say
Just
something
want to
about
share
it?
that No, I think that it was probably one of the best town halls that we've had this year. I'd say even possibly including last year. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but this felt like the biggest bam. Like, here it is. This is the product. This is what you've been waiting for. Here's hours and hours of content, by the way, that you can jump into right now. Not next week, not tomorrow. It's live as we're talking about it. They jumped right in, started some Surge. They were playing Surge today after the carnival. It's awesome. We didn't have this a week ago. We have a game.
And
I was
that's
saying that
that's about the release. Yeah, go ahead.
It was funny that in the last town hall, they basically shelved the idea of the races, and they brought the concept of pre-season and season 0 again and all this stuff, and they postponed the races up to season 0, which is at least 2 years down the road. And then they casually just released the races now, and they went and they were racing and shooting each other, and then jumped to the other modes and jumped into space. It's great. It's great, and we know it's not finished. We know it's not completely polished, but it's there for us to start, trying and testing and giving feedback and seeing how it evolves and how it improves. And this is the right approach, because if they wait to have AAA quality for everything they release, the gaps are going to be too big to keep a community like this engaged and moving forward and bringing new people to the economy. And it's a very complex, puzzle. So this was great to see.
Yeah, exactly.
This was a great town hall. The part that I like it more was when Michael realized that even if he like and love Solana, we need to start think about something that don't break the game each 2 weeks. So it's not because a penguin is going to do an airdrop that 5,000 people stop playing the game. And now, to tell the truth, we are only mining when the transactions happen with combat, when the transactions happen with crafting, when transactions happening with other parts of the game. How Solana is gonna hold this game, right? And I think it's good that they already start the conversation, because it's always a difficult conversation. But it's important because it doesn't matter if we have AAA graphics. If we stop playing the game because Penguin do a airdrop, and I've been playing like every day, and I play every day, the game was terrible. This week was terrible to play, even with bots, with Sly. The things don't move. Even if you refresh, whatever. I'm not IT guy, so I don't know what's in the background of RPCs or whatever. But it's impossible. So for a normal user, that's the plan is going to the Epic Games download the game and he don't understand nothing what's happening in Solana or whatever. He say, "For what shit is this? I cannot play. The game is not moving." So if you want to dream high, we need to start planning for high in the blockchain.
Yeah, that's very important. Yeah, the game needs to be a game and not stop because of transactions or have like different steps in combat and then suddenly pause and then continue with next step and then pause again and next step, and that makes combat impossible like that. No? It needs to be fluid and it needs to be feeling like a game for sure. In my case, I was translating it live to Spanish, and I don't remember any other town hall where I was translating, and then when I see the clock, I suddenly see that it was almost 2 hours, and it felt like half the time. It was like a lot of good content coming since the beginning, and then everything was like well thought, well planned. You know, in other town halls, a lot of moments were like slow or not very important to everybody. Everybody usually expects to see something like a demo. They had this showing this kind of demo, which was going to be a release afterwards, and it was all the content, and then they heard the what we told them, the feedback from the community. That was like a huge change altogether, a huge change in how they were approaching the town halls and the releases and everything. So for me, it was like, yeah, it's huge, the change, not only getting the releases, but how they approach the releases and how they approach the communication with the communities. And then, for example, we have our Spanish brews, and then there are more different brews in different communities. But we are lucky to have Santi in the Spanish brew, and yeah, we were telling him, like, the last 3 brews, we were telling him about don't wait to have everything completely polished or fully done. You just release something that we can use or play at a little, even if it's not polished, even if it has a lot of bugs, you know. So in the end, it's like, okay, they listen, you know, which was something different or feeling different in the past. So a lot of different things things changed in this last town hall, you know, not only the releases.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely are listening to us, which is amazing. You know, for us to get the insider information almost of how they are making and creating stuff, and them listening to us is really amazing. You know, we're all one big community. The only bad thing I was going to say, there was a epic town hall, and it was kind of, you know, underwhelming. Usually is their town halls, they have good things, but you know, oh, it's coming though. Nah, they dropped a bomb on us and really didn't sell it as much as they normally did. But the only bad thing I would say is, you know, it sucks to hear about the move to progress app. They said, which is pretty much put on a back burner, or they're gonna have another Web3 company help develop it. So that was a bummer, but hey, it was well worth it. They're working hard, it looks like. I'm glad to wait for the full version of the game, as long as they give us a working Sage and playable UE5 games like the racing shooter and stuff. I could wait years for the full vision of this project if they give us something to play in the meantime, to compete in, or esports or whatever, something fun to do. I'm sure most of the community agrees, and now they're getting to it. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is going to be different from now on because we have something that we can play. So now we can wait in a different way, and now we also kind of wait and expect some things like, okay, they're going to release in different steps, not waiting for 2 years until they have something completely polished, you know. It's like, for example, Star Citizen. Star Citizen has been releasing new ships and new versions of the game, and more than 10 years, and they are getting a lot of money, a lot of people, a lot of engagement, even if they have a lot of bugs. And it's famous because of the bugs also. So yeah, if you release things and you have something to play, people in the community are happy to wait, even if you have bugs and problems.
Yeah, but we already knew that the shooter was good because they already did the contest in the Breakpoint. So we knew that that product was already existing. They didn't share with us before. And in 2023, in the Breakpoint of 2023, they promised already the racing, the 2.0 racing, right? So that was already in the cooking also. So I think they have plans to go live. That's what they want. They want to go live in the Epic Store. So they want us to break as much possible because it's not only 10 guys breaking the game that is going to test everything to the release AAA. And at the same time, now they have, instead of 10, they have 500 guys every day in different regions. Me in Europe, we don't have that many people. I play almost every day against the same guys, so I don't know about the service, how that is working. But give um, give give good vibes. Give good vibes means that they are working well. Galia, for me, was the best because it was so smooth. The I went to a planet also, but was not that was not the most impressive for me. The most impressive for me was that I grabbed a ship and I was flying around in that spaceship, in that starbase. When you get out from the starbase, I was walking around from the top to the bottom, and the graphics, the high definition, and I play with different ships to see the difference, and was very, very smooth. They really did really well, the movement, and I follow a guy that he's one big guy in Star Citizen, and Star Citizen have 12 years. No chance. Our movement, our scenario in space, only this Gallia, only this part, only this small part is better than any movement that I saw in the other engine that Star Citizen use. So the future is very bright. The future is very bright with a small team. These guys are doing this with 40 people, right? 40, 45 people, whatever they have, and they are doing. Chipto is not sleeping. The other guys are not sleeping to deliver this type of product, and it's very bright. I have really good vibes for 2025. Really, uh, rental system is coming. They're gonna stop score at the same time that the rental system is gonna go live. So $99 million in view up is gonna jump from score to rental. I think SuperPhoenixDAO is gonna have a lots of people that's gonna rent chips if he want, and then it's chips again that's gonna move the economy, because like I said in the previous podcast, all these 99 million of ships in view up, they all need Air Force. They're gonna need everything. So the economy is gonna move a little bit more, and more players come because they can have a fleet for a startup of $10 or whatever it is. They can start playing. That's it.
Yeah, for
Yeah, I
me,
was gonna say.
two things are very important: Gallia as the vision in the future, and the two different gameplays that we already got, like shooter and the racing. It's huge. Those things were the most important for me, and yeah, it's like Star Citizen doesn't have this the way that you approach a planet with the ship in Gallia. It's like the best things of Elite Dangerous, how you go into subwarp and then you drive, you pilot your ship. You don't just press a button and it goes in autopilot and then you don't do anything until you arrive. That happens in Star Citizen, but in Elite Dangerous it's different. You can go in a different direction, and then you can approach a planet, arrive driving or piloting your ship. So they kind of took the best things of each game, and that's amazing. Go ahead, Solas.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, with the ship rentals, it's gonna be pretty interesting. You're gonna see a lot of, you're gonna be renting a fleet out. So these fleets, there's gonna be a lot of
configurations.
Yeah, configurations to optimize this fleet, and people are gonna be you're gonna drive demand to those specific fleets rather than just putting a random fleet together. I'm still trying to figure everything out, so people probably won't rent from me, but there's like maybe like for example Ace King, that dude's efficient. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see different demands for different rentals and fleets and all that. I know, Kepler, you were playing the shooter a lot. I was watching your stream, and then I know Egonaut was playing the racer a lot. Maybe start with Egonaut. Did you see any bugs in the racer, and how was the tracks, and what's your best ship, or what's your favorite, or what's the fastest ship you thought, Egonaut? And then the same thing with Kepler with the shooter. Was there any bugs? Anything you wanted to point out with the shooter?
Yeah, racing wise, it's been nice and crispy. No lag, no issues. I noticed a similar performance playing on medium with like motion blur turned off, as well as on epic with all that on, which is awesome. I think that's some of the UE5 performance optimization coming in there. Really great to see that fully implemented. And the ships themselves, I've noticed, I'm not sure if this was active the last time we played, but they all have a little bit on the back that visually adjusts according to the direction that the ship is moving in. It's just a little bit of an extra flair that I think the team put on there. It shows the level of detail that they're putting into these models. They didn't have to do that. A lot of ship models are just an eggshell graphic with some kind of rocket graphic coming out the back. They don't have any moving parts to determine or to show direction. It's nice to see that level of detail put into these ships. So yeah, I got distracted by the racing a little bit.
Yeah, I tried the racing just a little, not too much, and it felt good. It felt like really racing. The speed. The only thing is that I would like to have the HOTAS or HOSAS controller or whatever available. But even if you control it with the mouse, it was good. It was good, better than expected, and it feels better than last times. I didn't see any huge bugs, and in the shooter, it was more or less the same. It was working really well, surprisingly really well. I would say it has less bugs, for example, than Star Citizen when they release something. And this is the first kind of huge release from Star Atlas like this. The only thing, of course, but this is not a bug, this is that it's not based on a server. It's based on peer-to-peer. So, of course, there's some lag and some issues with that, but that's not a bug. It's because it's peer-to-peer. So if you take that into account and you just play the game like that, sometimes you shoot and it's not registering, but sometimes the other guy shoots you and it's not registering either. So it's just like, okay, random, and nobody's getting really a huge advantage. Even though some people say that the one hosting has the advantage. Yeah, partially it's true, but in the end, I didn't see so big difference in that. I think it's playable, it's fun, and the mechanics. I know Grist was saying, well, Grist is a club mate and Vanguard mate, and also CommandDeck podcast mate. So he was always asking for Star Atlas to keep this kind of movement, the mechanics, the slide, the jetpack, the kind of flight that you do with the jetpack, and they keep it like this. So that makes Star Atlas as a shooter very good and very interesting and a lot of fun. So for me, I think it was much better than expected.
Yeah, it's actually a very high skill level game. Actually, the shooter, the movement and shooting. Some people like the more realistic gameplay, but most people right now are really into the more skill based shooters, and this is extreme. Like, you're gonna be able to see the different levels of players in this game. It's gonna be wild. Go ahead, PG, and then after that, maybe see if Njord got to any playing time and who's the best Viking, him or Benny? Maybe, I don't know. Just kidding.
I don't know if it was only me or not, but each time I was next to the wall, any wall, I lost vision of the gun and I could not aim.
Yeah.
I think that was the only issue in the game. The rest is super fun. I think sometimes we need to wait 2 minutes to the weapon to respawn. That's maybe too much. 2 minutes in a game that have like 10 minutes. You need to wait 2 minutes to respawn the weapon.
Really?
Yeah. It's like around 2 minutes. Around 2 minutes. I don't know if it's 2 minutes in the spot, but is a big time. And yeah, the rest, I felt really that the host ever a bit extra power, because it's natural. Like, if he's the host, and if he has the internet from his computer, he's gonna see you half a second first, and if he's already a good player, you are done. But yeah, it's fun. It's fucking fun, and the crowd that they did that arena is beautiful. It's really high end.
Yeah, the thing that you were saying about the walls and losing that view in that moment, you can't aim in that moment. That's because of how Unreal Engine normal camera works. They will need to try to adjust that, but that's the normal way that Unreal Engine works with cameras. It has like a kind of flexible distance between the camera and the character,
Yeah, but I didn't felt that in Search. In Search, I didn't see that happening, and I was always inside of the building in Search, and I was grabbing the grenade that was really in the corner of the building. I was shooting, and I didn't felt like I felt inside of this arena. So maybe they need to work around that. But well, that's a small detail that with time that it's going to disappear, because I'm pretty sure when they did the tournament in the Impact, they didn't have that for sure.
Yeah, that's part of polishing the game. Yeah, but the huge box, I don't remember huge box. A lot of bugs or something like that. It didn't crash all the time like in previous versions, so it was playable. The most important thing I remember is that PUNAPs really have a great, huge advantage. They are tiny, so that's important. Yeah. Njord, did you have any time to play, to check it out?
Yeah, only a little bit. So that first night, like I said, yeah, I got it downloaded, kind of ran around and checked it out a little bit. The environment looks awesome, looks amazing. So it's pretty impressive. I didn't get to go through, all the crew and kind of mess around with that much. And you're right. I didn't even try one of the nubs. I probably should have, because you're right. I'm sure they're hard to target. So yeah, I checked it out a little bit. I didn't get to play a whole lot. I definitely will over the holidays, though. I'll get more into it. I don't know. As far as the playoff between me and Viking Benny, we'll see. He's got far more hours under his belt, but I'll give it a go. I'm not shy.
Nice.
Weak hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the Punobs, they're definitely smaller hitbox, but I wonder in the future, are they gonna assign a different hit points for them rather than like a big ooster? A big ooster, it's obviously better to shoot at, bigger body, but it might be Viking Benny says he'll go soft. But a bigger ooster versus a tiny Punob, maybe different kind of strengths and hit points. Drum Cars, did you get any time to play?
No, I am a Mac user, so I am getting now quotes for a PC finally.
That's
I was
fine.
waiting
Hey,
for this
guess
moment to commit
you
to
could
a video
play.
card. I'm
You
always
could
waiting
play.
for the next one. Like, I think I can hold it like 3 more
Yeah.
months because Nvidia is gonna release another one, and I'm always in that fight and never end up buying
Yeah.
anything.
Well, you could play the Portals game with SuperPhoenixDAO though, so
Yeah,
it'll be good.
There you go.
But hey
the PC
Kepler,
is coming.
real quick before we move on, do you see any of your Spanish OG viewers in the chat? If you see one that has commented, I'll shoot him some 200 swag.
Brujo
Yeah,
not only plays a lot, but he's been tester on both
yeah,
play tests,
Very
and
cool.
he's been giving a
exactly.
ton of feedback.
Well, you want
He's
to
always
tell
helping
him?
the community. He's always helping the
Yeah.
community. He's always sharing what he can with the community. Even when he was under the NDA, he was trying to tell what he could. So
Very cool.
yeah.
Well, congrats, Brujo. I'll send Kepler. I'll send you the coins, and then you could get his address, since you know him a little more, if that's all right.
There you go,
Awesome.
Brujito.
Oh, Brujo,
Congrats.
did you understand that?
You got some
You could tell
swag.
him. You could tell him in Spanish. It looks like he speaks English, but
Yeah. Anyway, I will tell him.
all
In
right.
Spanish later. Or I can tell him right now. Just give me 1 second. Brujo, has ganado una cantidad de swag que te va a mandar. Y te va a mandar solas, pues por ser alguien de la comunidad que está ahí en el chat ahora, escuchándonos y tal, compartiendo, y por ser uno de los testers y uno de los que más ayuda también en la comunidad hispana. Así que bueno, por todo eso, felicidades. Congratulations, Brujo.
Congrats. Jerome Carlos, do you have any updates or anything you want to say about the DAO by any chance?
No, the DAO is pretty much wrapped as far as live meetings. We had our last meeting the day before the town hall. That we were actually we had a Santi corner and we were trying to spoon out information, but he behaved. He did not comment when we suggested good answers, but no, it was great. So no, we wrapped up on there with the foundation, and we're gonna resume in the first week of January. And we're planning in mid of January send out a half-term report and release some minutes of the meetings and try to keep looking for ways to engage the community and see if we see those drafts coming so we can start seeing the magic happen. That's what we want.
Very cool.
Nice.
Love it.
Funcracker and myself might go to a meeting that is about Solana DAOs and also hackathon in Athens in Greece in January. If we make it, we'll
Lucky.
try to keep you guys updated and see if we can bring the Star Atlas DAO into the conversation.
Nice.
Let me know. I want to go. I'm a big ancient Greece and ancient Rome kind of buff, so I would love to go see those places eventually.
That's a subject in mod territory.
Okay, so anybody wants to say anything before we wrap it up? Any other topic that we missed or that I'm forgetting about?
Real quick, just the Gallia Cup is coming back, like I said earlier. Something probably in January, February, give some people time to play the racer, play the shooter, and all that. And we'll start getting some guild versus guild competitions together again. I'll start working on sponsors. If you don't know, we've gotten several sponsors in the past that gave out really fantastic prizes, and it was amazing. I know Hologram. I'm trying to think of all of them. Hologram News Network did one before. Andre's Fleet Share Coin. So I think SuperPhoenixDAO. We had EDIO, another Solana shooter. Yep. SuperPhoenixDAO. Yep. And then we had EDIO. Like I said, we had. I'm trying to think who all sponsored. I'm kind of drawing a blank. I'm sorry if I forgot you guys. But we had several sponsors, and it was amazing. We gave out amazing prizes. But we'll be starting that back up. We'll see if I know the Star Atlas team has mentioned in the past they will maybe give out some prizes for us. So we'll be starting that back up. So start getting your guilds together, your teams, find out who your best shooters are, and it's competitive, but we try to get everybody to play as well. So the club is a decently large community, so we rotate our really good players with our newer players, and so it's just a fun community. So we'll get some competitions going towards the beginning of the year.
Awesome. Yeah, let's get some fun together as part of that community. Different guilds, different competitions. It's gonna be great. Yeah, it's been 1 hour and 40 minutes, something like that. So, Ron Carlos, Yonact, PG, Njord, do you want to say something before we go? Anything to wrap it up?
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have more command decks this year, but next year we're gonna start the year with some really good guests and some really interesting programs. So I'm just gonna let that out, and we will be seeing you all very soon.
Yeah. We
looking forward to it.
We better stay tuned. You better stay tuned. So yeah, don't miss it. The start of the next year, it's gonna be start or mid January or something like that. Maybe January in general. We're gonna have special episodes with special guests, as Tom Carl was saying. So stay tuned. And thanks everybody. Thanks everybody in the chat, especially you guys. You make it feel different. You make it feel live when we are here talking to you guys. So thanks a lot. We appreciate that very much. Give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And thanks for everybody here. Thanks for being here, Njord. It's been a pleasure and great news from your SuperPhoenixDAO project.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. This was great. I'll make a point to be back sooner next time. Let's say that.
Awesome.
It's your home.
Yeah, keep us updated. Yeah, for sure.
You're welcome at any time. You don't even need to drop anything SuperPhoenixDAO. You're always welcome at any time. That goes for anybody. If you want to just come on and talk, even Star Atlas, even if you aren't sharing anything or a project or whatever, if you want to just come on and be a part of a panel for a show, just let us know. All guests get some swag coin, but yeah, thank you for everybody. Thank you, Njord, for coming.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Solas. Thank you, Yoganak. Thank you, PG. Thank you, Don Carlos. And yeah, just let us know if you want to say something here with us. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Brujo. Congratulations, Brujo. Thank you, Tarin. Thank you, Viking Benny. All of you in the chat and all of you who are watching this, even if it's the replay. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye bye. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Have a good one.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.